Hey everybody, it's Deanna with toolsofenergyprotection.com, your energy shift expert. Welcome to Tuesday Night Live. It is terrific Tuesday here on Instagram and Facebook, and uh, it's just a time to be on this planet. It's an amazing time to be alive, and each one of you beautiful people are spiritually empowered, spiritually and gifted by the creator source of all. And some of us have a little bit extra measure of being divinely gifted, being empathic or highly sensitive. And this week I learned that those traits are often programmed in our neural net, in our neurocapacity. And that's how we come to receive these gifts, because our divine creator maps our brains just a little bit differently. So we are a little bit more sensitive. So we do see the world in a different way and be able to interpret it in a different energies. So tonight, it is June 25th, 2019, and the way the energies are aligned and the planets are aligned, a lot of you are feeling it, so to speak, because this shift, this frequency is pushing us to create a different choice for ourselves. I'll be as succinct as I can tonight. I know sometimes I go a little bit longer, uh, attempting to explain everything. But if you weren't here last week, I would ask that you would please go. If you're on Instagram, you'll have to hop over to the YouTube channel. And if you're on Facebook, if you scroll down in the feed, you'll find the last broadcast that I did, and I'm wearing a blue shirt, and I'm talking a lot about those things. So I'm going to be succinct as I can tonight, because I know a lot of you are time crunched. But here's the deal. We, as human beings, are not put on this planet to remain hidden and controlled. And what do I mean by that? Every human being on this planet is a jewel, is a gift, is a divine gift to this planet. Some of us have chosen a darker path. Some people are experiencing because they have chosen a different path. But all are divine creatures of the creator source of all, of God, spirit, source, and each one of us has a special purpose here on this planet. Tonight, I would like to call out those of you that are highly sensitive and those of you that are empathic. If you're watching right now, you are meant to be here, plain and simple. And you may say to me, Deanna, how do I know I'm highly sensitive? How do I know I'm empathic? Well, empathic people sense the world differently and they perceive energy differently. Logical brain people see things as black or white, left or right, right or wrong, and they are able to qualify and quantify things by putting them in boxes, by giving them names, giving them labels, and working through their life seeing that. That's how they see the world, is through this box of left and right, right is wrong, and black and white, and all that. And they're logical thinkers, and they address the world in a logical manner. Those people can also be gifted, but they tend to see things and experience things quite a bit differently than those people who are wired empathically. They tend to be more artistic people. They tend to be more creative people and more expressive people. They also have a tendency to be rescuers, educators, and people that are in public service. Those folks are highly sensitive and they experience the world through feeling. They experience the world through impressions and imprints. And when that kind of information comes in, it's really challenging for a logical brain to identify what's happening for them. You know, if you're a logical brain, you're a sorter. So information comes into your brain sorts it, fits it in certain boxes. Whatever doesn't make sense gets ignored or tossed out. Somebody who's highly sensitive and empathic, especially highly sensitive, You gain knowledge and information, and it comes through the sight of the physical eyes, it comes through the sight of the third eye or the spiritual eye, which is your pineal gland, and it comes sometimes through the physical body. Empaths and highly sensitive people usually have a hard time going to the theater because it's so loud and it bombards us with all kinds of noises and sounds and visual stimuli. We like it a little bit less uh, vigorating. I mean, some people, some empaths, I shouldn't say all of them, but basically the bottom line is that empathic people sense the world around them by vibration, by feeling, by frequency, by light, and that's how they process it. And it doesn't go in boxes. It doesn't come in black and white. It goes all over. And depending on how gifted you are, it can be really overstimulating. And that's why right now, if you are in either of those categories, you may find yourself isolating yourself more than you normally do. You might find yourself sleeping a bunch more than you normally do over this last week, fatigued, irritable, and anxious. And the reason for that is because the planet shifted. The vibration of this planet actually lifted. I don't have Schumann's frequency to show you tonight, but the heartbeat of the earth is shifted and the pulse is higher. And so people that sense through energy are going to feel that in their body. They're going to sense it higher, even if they aren't consciously aware that they are sensing it. And that shifts the electromagnetic frequency or the biorhythm of the body, which affects the brain, which affects the hormones. So all of those things. And so highly sensitive people, empaths, are attempting to process all that information as it's coming in waves, and then the full moon is dumping new energy, and we're getting ready for eclipse season, and there's a lot going on. And you're trying to maintain your normal life and clean your house and go to your job and visit with other people and pay your bills, and it goes on. It's too much. If you know that it's too much, I'd like to see a couple thumbs up so that I know that where everybody's on the same page. But it is too much. It is overstimulating. So, more rest, more hydration, doing things in a different order, reorganizing life. And we've been handed so much. Thank you for the hearts and the thumbs up. That we're holding all of this information and all of this energy to process at the same time. And it really is too much. So if your hands are full, thank you again for the thumbs up and the hearts. If your hands are that full, you can't hold anything else. I don't know about you, but I can't stand to have a lot of things in my hands. And if I do, I feel like I can't reach for anything else. I can't grab anything else. I can't have the sensory of touch because I have too much in my hands. And that's what's happening with these energy shifts. We are being shown that we've been carrying too much in our lives for too long. How many of you have been carrying a belief system for over 20 years? How many of you have been carrying it for over 30 years? How many for 10? And what do I mean by a belief system? Believing that you're on this earth to be hidden. Highly sensitive and empathic people, if you're with me on this, when I grew up, we were not valued. We were seen as lesser than because we didn't excel the way other people did in school. Perhaps some of you did. There are some left and right brain balanced people that are empathic. But we sensed things in a different way. We processed numbers different. We processed reading different. We processed colors and shapes different. And it might have taken us a little bit longer to figure things out. And I don't want to put highly sensitive and empathic, all those people in the same category, but that's how I experienced life. Because there was so much to experience. There was colors and sights and sounds and smells and peoples and personalities. And somebody wanted me to sit still and learn rote things like numbers and letters and reading, which is great, and we need that in this life. But when you don't conform to those things that they tell you, the ambiguous they tell you you have to do, when you don't conform, then you're seen as bad or wrong, and you're made to be separate or set out and told that you're bad or wrong. And so then you begin to ingest those feelings of not being competent or confident. And you withdraw as an empath or a highly sensitive person, and you just want to be hidden. You want to be on the wall. You don't want to be seen. You just want to blend in. The good news is you can't blend in because you have a divine calling. There's so much hatred and fear and anxiety on this planet. If you are beautifully empathic or highly sensitive, you are the white blood cells. You are the vibrational balancer of this world. That's what you've been called to do. And if you're bogged down with anxiety, if you're hidden, if you're fatigued, you cannot do your job. If you work at a daycare center, if you work at a hospital, if you work as a clerk, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you can receive these beautiful loving energies that are being poured in on the planet and help to raise the frequency of the planet so we can make this shift. It is so important. If you don't understand what the planetary shift is, at least understand what's going on in your own personal life. And that'll get you a picture of it. So I have a program that I taught years ago that I am pulling out from the vault to teach again. It's called Personal Energy Management. And the reason that I'm pulling it out again is that it's time for highly sensitive people and empaths to create boundaries. It simply is, because what's happened is you're walking around with all these beautiful gifts and you have your hands full of all this stuff that people are telling you you have to tolerate or do based on fitting in this box. And again, learning numbers and letters so you can communicate and learning to read so you can be educated are all wonderful and normal values. But being told you're bad or wrong because you're too sensitive, you cry too much, you think too much, any of those kind of things that I'm sure that many of you have experienced. And you look at the rest of the world and go, what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. Nothing. You just happen to be wired a little bit differently for a different path that this world, especially the world I grew up in, wasn't ready to teach or didn't know how. There's a beautiful ancestry for many people that were spiritual, and their ancestors were spiritual, and they understood how to nurture spirituality and combine it with being in the human body, but a lot of that's been lost. And this is a reawakening time. Actually, that was last year, was reawakening. This is a call to action. But if you're not yet at that point, if you're still suffering from anxiety or fear or frustration, it's not too late to accelerate. Now, the good news is, before I came on tonight, I meditated and I asked the boss, what can I share tonight? And he was very clear in telling me that even those people who didn't work on themselves, or they're still having trouble or still having challenges, the beauty of now is that this beautiful uplifting vibrational frequency is lifting up. And they say a rising tide lifts all boats. All the boats except for the ones that are anchored. If they didn't pull their anchors in, they're going to sink because they can't float. So if you were that boat with the anchor and you're desperately trying to pull it up and shed the anxiety, shed the fear, then I'm going to give you 3 steps to help you. Step number 1 is evaluation. You've got to know where you are right now so that you can move forward. I was telling somebody earlier today that you cannot change what you do not measure. It may be hard to measure empathic or highly sensitive gifts, but it's easy to measure what's going on in your life that's stressing you out or causing you problems. So that's step number one. Step number two is to create boundaries. And you can do this visually with yourself to start and others. So what happens is you get yourself a piece of paper and a pencil, or if you're skilled enough to do it online, great. On some sort of an app. But you draw a circle, and in the center of the circle, put a stick figure. I'd like for you to leave about 5 inches across the page so that your circle brings at least 5 inches. Put your stick figure in the middle. I'd like for you to begin writing everything that you experience emotionally in a day. Fear, anxiety, phobia, those are the big ones. And write them inside the circle. Then on the outside of the circle, write what you would like to be experiencing. Peace, joy, balance. Balance is a big one. People write, oh, I want to experience abundance. Yes, we all would like to experience abundance. However, there's balance. Some days are going to be better than others. Sometimes we're going to experience things differently, but put all the desired energies that you would like to experience on the outside of the circle and what you're actually experiencing on the inside of the circle. Then once you're done with that, I'd like for you to take your magical wand, pixie dust, and I would like for you to mark out what energy matches on the outside and the inside. So if on the inside of your circle you wrote you were experiencing joy, and you'd like to experience joy, then mark those out because those are balanced. And see what you have left. Because whatever it is that you have left, when you look at what you're experiencing on the inside of the circle, that's what's in your energy field every single day. That is what is causing you to remain hidden. That's what you picked up a long time ago. Those are the beliefs that are not doing you any good. And again, if you're having trouble identifying what beliefs are, sometimes we can't be aware of what we're not aware of. So just do the exercise. The energies that are on the inside of the circle, if they're not on the positive end of the scale, they are exhausting. So write what you'd like to experience on the outside, what you're experiencing on the inside. And then take a look, because you're going to wave your magical wand. You're going to light up your page, and you're going to turn what's on the outside inside and what's on the inside outside. Whoops. So that you can remain, or you can become more illuminated. You can become more lit up. Like this pen, it's got lights on the inside and it glows. But then you can begin to measure what it is, again, that's causing you to remain hidden, because when you're anxious and frustrated and suffering, your beautiful light cannot shine. Your beautiful gifts cannot shine. All right, the last thing to do is to cut out toxic energy. And you're like, well, what's toxic energy? That little guy you just drew? Everything that's on the inside of your circle that's not positive and happy. And again, there's balance, some good days, some bad. But whatever's in there, like anxiety if it's in there, or depression if that's in there, and that's a regular part of your day, that's toxic. And then it becomes the journey to figure out where that toxicity is coming from. Is it neural net? Is it stuff from your past? Is it stuff you're still hanging on to? Because if you're still hanging on to that kind of stuff, that's the anchor. And as the tide is rising to lift all boats, you're going to be down here and flooded because you're not letting go of whatever it is that's been dragging you down. So, in order to align with your beautiful divine nature and have a more balanced life, it's time to discover what's holding you back. What's the anchor? And I am so happy to help you with that and to get you headed in the right direction. So, this Thursday and Friday, I am in Denver at the For Heaven's Sakes bookstore. If you are out of state, if you are not able to drive to the bookstore, this work of changing frequency and energy can happen over the phone, over the internet. All it takes is just the connection between you and me. I've had quite a few people saying, "Oh, I wish I could come. I can't. I live in Arkansas." That's okay. Just get a hold of me on the phone. That connection will be blessed and the work will be done. Really simple. So, Thursday and Friday at the bookstore, 303-964-9339. And Friday is a special day because they have what's called event pricing. So that means if you're a little tight on your budget and you're looking for a deal, that's the day to book is on Friday. And you could do half hour or an hour if you like, or even a little bit longer than that. So I think their normal business hours are 10 to 7. So you've got tomorrow, you've got a couple days to get in there and get yourself scheduled. And so when you tongue tied. So once you do, we're going to sit down together, you and I, and we're going to talk about what's bothering you, what's weighing you down, what's holding you back. Then I will shift the frequency and help you. We've got this new crystalline shield which will go around your energy field, and you will feel better. You just will feel better because all of that stuff on the inside of the circle, we're going to do the best we can to move it out. And yes, this actually can be done in about 30-45 minutes. It's easy. And I think that's the reason some people have trouble believing, is because it's easy. But once you leave, then it's up to you to maintain that particular, space. So, are there any questions? I'll do the best I can if anybody has any questions. This is just such a huge dynamic time that we're living in. Okay. Well, I'm waiting to see. Let's see if there's any on Instagram. Okay. No, it doesn't look like there's anybody. Okay. So, no questions. That means I've either done a really great job or I haven't done a great job. But I really thank each and every one of you for joining me here, for sharing this. If you know somebody who's highly sensitive or empathic, please do share this video. It's their choice whether they watch it or not. But there's just so many people right now that are hurting. And they're empaths and they're highly sensitive. And they really don't need to be hurting. They just aren't sure how to stop. That's what I can help them with. To put that energy behind them and begin to live a happier, healthier, more well-adjusted life starting instantly. Okay? There is some work involved. There's taking steps forward to release those things, but through the power of God's Spirit Source, it becomes easier. That connection, once it's made, it becomes easier. So Just to let you know, I am still learning to work with the camera, work with the green screens, and preparing the classes to get out so that everybody can begin learning if they're highly sensitive or empathic. And I'm getting those ready. And then I'm looking at doing the lives on a different platform so that I can maybe do just one platform instead of two. And I'm also going to be I'm thinking about doing a little, 4 or 5 minute everyday video to let you know what's happening with the energy shifts so that you can have more of a day to day type thing. So if you are truly interested in having more of a daily delivery of maybe a little 3 or 4 short minute video, please let me know, because if that's the case, I will go ahead and invest in a platform where I can do those every single day, because right now come on Facebook, do a little 3 or 4 minutes. Then I do Instagram, a little 3 or 4 minutes, and it's it's a large investment that I don't mind doing, but I want to make sure everybody that it's something that they would like to enjoy and something that they would like to participate in. So, for those of you on Instagram, please join me on tools@energyprotection.com and then click on contact, and you should find a link there to the YouTube channel, or just type my name into YouTube. And then if you're on Facebook, you should be able to see the replay here. Oh, it looks like I do have one question on Facebook. Let's see if I can get that to open up, and I'll answer that before I go. Let's see here. Okay, so, oops, let's see here. Okay, let's see if I can bring this up. Jennifer, I can only see part of your comment, but it says you've been smoking for 18 years, and sometimes I feel like it helps my anxiety, and I want to, and then I can't see the rest of it. But I'm thinking you want to quit. So if that's the case, if you can put another comment down there. And yes, with the anxiety for highly sensitive people, we tend to numb out. And when we numb out, we will use things, like drinking or smoking or, different things to try to escape. And Jennifer, what I've noticed is that highly sensitive and empathic people, there's quite a few of them that come to me that have been smoking for a long period of time, and it's toxic to your body, like all of your body. And by doing that, you are actually hiding yourself. You're actually bringing your frequency down. So I would highly recommend that you find some sort of help support program to move away from that, and find something that actually really does help you with your anxiety, because my understanding is that uh, stimulates more than it actually calms. You might try breathing exercises to help you with that, and maybe reach out to me in a private message, and we can talk a little bit more about that. Looks like Instagram. I have a question that says, how are empaths supposed to cope and not feel so much in our bodies? Good question. It's boundaries. That's the bottom line answer, is boundaries. And so learning your boundaries with yourself and others, learning what is your energy and what isn't. And if the person who had posted that on Instagram's Booker, it looks like, if you will reach out to me, I can share some more stuff with you. But that's basically it. I do have a class that I teach that teaches you how to balance your toroidal field, your energy field. And when that field is weakened by emotional past, usually highly sensitive or empathic people were I'm going to say beaten, but it's the only word I have. We're beaten into, emotionally beaten into accepting other people's stuff. We were when we tried to express ourselves in our loving fashion, we were usually met with the restriction of the black and white folks who thought we weren't quite right. We were too sensitive. We were too this, too that, and quite often the person on Instagram that's listed as Booker. Quite often, what I find is that highly sensitive people and empathic people, because we're so giving and we send our energy out and we fill up other people's energy fields with our energy, we usually attract sociopaths and narcissists. And those people will demand nothing less than all of the energy and drain you. And if you were raised by one of those people or had a sibling, it predisposes you to not being able to say no and block. And that's why boundaries are so important. And if you would like, I was thinking about teaching a class about safe boundaries, but I haven't yet. So if that's something that you're interested in and you'd like to private message me or at least give me a thumbs up and let me know, I will see about putting a class together for that. Thank you so much for your question. And that's all I have. Like I said, I'd like to keep these rather short, a little bit shorter. I know I get rather long-winded because there is so much to share. And again, I would value your opinion. If you would like to have daily updates in formats of like 3 or 4 minutes a day to talk about where the energies are and what you can be expecting, then please either private message me or give me a thumbs up here, and I will look at a platform to do just that. And again, please share this message with other people that are empathic or highly sensitive, or send them over to my page, toolsofenergyprotection.com, if they don't have 20 minutes to invest in listening, because I do post there, and it's something they can quickly access and read. But it is so important right now to move forward. So remember, the steps to moving forward are evaluating yourself, finding out where you are right now, perhaps finding out if you have been exposed to highly sensitive or empathic people, creating boundaries, and cutting out the energy of those things that are toxic, which could include food, situations, and other people. And sometimes cutting things out isn't easy. The energy right now is really stimulating us to get rid of things that really are weighing us down, the anchors. And you can start by cutting out small things, like if you have been eating food that's not good for your body, you can shift and eat something else. If you've been hanging around with people that are not positive for you, make different choices. If you find yourself in the same situations over and over again, time to evaluate why you're there and get yourself free as fast as you can. If you have old issues that have been hanging around for years, then get rid of them. Do what you need to do, change your friends, change who you hang with, change perhaps even a job, but it's time to move on. And if you're feeling that anxiety at a really super high level, or the frustration, or the fatigue, that's probably why. So anyway, that's it. That's all I have. I don't think I've got any more questions. Jennifer, that must have answered your question. You are welcome. And again, I'll be here next Tuesday night at 7:30, hopefully, if I don't have any technical issues. Also at the bookstore at For Heaven's Sakes, 303-964-9339 on Thursday and Friday. And if that doesn't work for you, I do have a regular calendar at toolsofenergyprotection.com. Click on personal appointments and pick out your time. As always, if you don't find a time that works for you, private message me, and we will set a time that works best for you. So big hugs and kisses. Have a great and wonderful night. And thank you so much for supporting me here.